time. This next topic, we're going to be talking about all the fringe players looking to still make the roster and what we need to see from them Saturday to know that they'll make the team.
I have statistical predictions for these guys.
I don't think that maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think anybody earns or loses jobs, or I think they rarely earn or lose jobs based on statistics in one preseason game. I really don't believe that. It's just a small part of the entire puzzle as to why you're keeping or not keeping guys.
And I think,
unless it's an extreme where a guy's so good or makes such horrible mistakes. But I think
it could be the cherry on top, though, of an entire performance. The last preseason game, combined with all practice.
What do you think?
For the sake of fun, G,
you
want to run down these guys and let's make some statistical predictions of what these guys.
Which ones?
Here, I'll give you the list. Here we go.
I got some extras that aren't on there too, by the way.
All right. First of all, Watkins. Even if Watkins didn't do much today, he's done enough to make the team. Whether he definitely makes it or not, I don't know. But
yeah, it's like in American Idol. You could be even with somebody the whole season. You could sing great songs the first season. The first few challenges, you could be great.
Yeah.
But if you picked a bad song and you in the finals, you go home.
So you think he could lose his job still?
Well, no. He's done enough where he's like
other guys.
He's in the finals. He's made the finals, right? He made it here.
Right.
The other guys, Schwartz would have to overkill it. He'd have to sing a Whitney Houston song and slay it as a man.
Do you want to start with Schwartz?
All right, let me do it this way. Let's do it this way. I'm going to give you the player.
I'll give you the
tell
stats.
me he's in, he's out, or still on the bubble.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm gonna give you the stats because I did the research. I got some numbers here.
Let's start with Watkins. In, out, or still in the bubble?
Yeah.
I think he's still in the bubble. I think he ends up making it because they keep two quarterbacks, and he's the seventh receiver they keep. And to ensure a position, I think he goes for 71 yards and a touchdown.
So that would mean who making it over him?
I think Bell's a lock, dude. I think Grant makes it.
If they only keep 6 receivers and they keep Bell and Grant, then that's it.
He's better than Bell.
I'm going off what I
Well,
see.
they might not think that, or they might keep him because they're drafted.
Bell's getting reps with the first teams in practice. He's getting first team reps in practice.
All I know is Bell got cut in my fantasy league last night.
I mean,
I don't listen. You're not asking me what I think. If I was general manager of the Browns,
he's medium sized. He's not tall. He's not fast.
Yeah.
He's not quick, and he's a receiver. I just described an offensive lineman.
G, you're looking at the wrong person because I'm with you, but I'm also reading the tea leaves of what's going on in practice, and I think that has more value than what we see.
I didn't even hear Mary Kay. Nobody was at practice that said David Bell's tearing it up in practice.
No.
But he's getting first team reps though. That's gotta be something.
That's even disappointing. You getting first team reps and you still suck.
I'm saying Watkins is still on the bubble as well, although I'm leaning towards him making it. All right, let's do David Bell. In, out, on the bubble.
Deuces.
See, I think he's a lock.
I think
he's a lock. I think he's a lock.
Anthony Schwartz. In, out, on the bubble.
Deuces.
I think he's out.
I think he's out, but for the sake of this thing, here's what I think he has to do on Saturday to lock a spot on the roster. G. Bush, you ready?
Yes.
You got the knees shaking. You got the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
27 catches, 483 yards, and 16 touchdowns. And if he does that against Kansas City, they cannot cut Anthony Schwartz. If he does anything less than that, he's gone.
If he has 6 touchdowns, he's out.
Done.
He's finished.
Gone.
Okay.
He needs at least 16.
Anthony Schwartz scared me more than he can cost you a game more than the kicker can.
Well, that means he has to play first.
Yeah. Jakeem Grant. In, out, on the bubble.
So. You go first.
I think they're going. I heard Kevin Stefanski. They sound like they was just trying to save him. Like they were saving him because they didn't want him to get injured, and they think that he's just their guy back there. So I think he's the special teams dude, and I think Demetric Felton gets cut now. I
agree with G. I think Grant is on the bubble. Will end up making the team. I don't think he's a lock yet. I do think he makes the team. I think what Stefanski said and the way you read into that's exactly how I read into that. We didn't hear anything for Grant for the first 3.5 weeks of training camp.
Yeah.
I think that was intentional. I don't think he was hurt. I think they were just
like he was Myles Garrett. He was
hurt last year.
He was hurt last year, coming back and saving him till they absolutely need him.
I still don't believe that he's definitely on the team. I'm saying on the bubble. I don't believe anything coaches say, or I don't believe almost anything.
Well, he didn't say they were
He said he's
taking
going to
extra
get
care.
he's going to get a chance to play this week.
Yeah.
That was the way I read into it.
But
As if he's one of the starters.
Yeah, he wanted the starters. And I said, dang, okay.
I don't know.
If he returns one kick, punt, kick, however, missed field goal, if he has
Yeah.
one decent return, I think he's a lock.
I mean, they paid him some
That's
guaranteed
what
money.
And
Alright.
if they think real quick, if they think
Yeah.
Grant's a better punt returner than DPJ,
He is.
which I think the track record shows he is,
Yeah.
he's on the team. He's on the team.
Right. Probably.
Plain and simple, he's on the team.
Demetric Felton, you think he's out, huh?
He's done.
I do too.
Well, who's your 3 running backs right now?
The third guy's
that
not
third
here
guy,
yet.
that dude.
Who's your second running back right now?
Ford.
Ford.
Is Ford ready to go week 1?
He should be. I mean,
I'm okay without him.
And if he don't, we give Chuck extra carries.
Elijah Moore.
And it was that dude, the guy they brought in.
Wilkins.
He's better than Felton.
Is he?
I just when I was looking at him running inside zone plays, I'm like, oh, he looks like an NFL
What about
running.
Kelly?
Gone.
Yeah, he's.
I think the third running back on opening night is not currently on this roster.
I don't think any of the running backs are on the roster right now because I don't know that. Now, what Ford will be on the 53, but I don't think he's playing opening day because it doesn't sound like he's going to be ready.
I haven't heard anything to
Yeah.
say contrary to that.
Yeah, I don't know the extent of his injury. I know Stefanski said he should be back around that time frame. Maybe that's
Yeah.
a week after, week 2, week
There'll
3.
be somebody they'll be interested in to get
Yeah,
but
in that position.
they will bring in another running back for the start of the
I
season. I
agree.
feel very
I
confident in
agree.
that.
All right, Ronnie Hickman, in-out bubble.
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 I think he's out.
I think he's
So-
a bubble. He's playing against like if he can play in this game, if they mess around and get him another interception or he could do something,
Yeah.
he got to make some plays in this.
I
game.
just think Bell is a special teams guy, and they're not going to want to cut him, and they're not going to keep 5 safeties.
I'm with you 100%. But
Yeah.
for the sake of this, what does Hickman have to do against the Chiefs to surpass
If he
Bell?
picked off Mahomes, maybe you'd consider it.
I had the
That would
same way.
stand. Like his interceptions so far, the best quarterback he's picked off is Jacoby Brissett.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I would, yeah. If he can make some
Picked
plays,
off Jacoby Brissett, Marcus Mariota, and some practice squad
he can
quarterbacks.
make a couple big tackles. Even if he can play special teams and make a special teams play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the reason I think Bell's ahead of Hickman is the special
Yeah.
teams aspect. Bell
Right.
is a solid special teams contributor. Last year, and Bubba Ventrone said he's been a standout in special teams so far this camp. So I think Hickman has a long way to go before supplanting.
Diabete, in-out bubble.
and
Bubble ends up getting in.
I'm bubble on Diabete.
Bubble gets in. I think if he has another sack and
Yeah.
or forced fumble, another play that's not just a tackle, it's going to be hard to look at what he's done in these 3 preseason games, in practice that we don't see, but I'm assuming it's similar to what he's done in the game.
they've been raving
At a
about
position they just don't have a lot of depth in. So
and a position that they're kind of banged up still. You don't know the health of Taki. You don't. Anthony Walker, I think, will be coming back, but I think what he brings is skill set. The difference between him and Anthony Fields is night and day.
But let me ask this question, and Gio, I want you to answer next. Diabate's skill set at the linebacker position, the other guys they have in that room, do they have anyone in the same mold as him, or is he kind of a one-of-one in the grand scheme of that linebacker room, the 6'7" guys they've in there? Does anyone else do what he does?
JOK, like they're both extremely fast. They're both extremely athletic. Like they can read and react. Like they run around. I think that's why they're intrigued by it because, to be honest with you, the Browns in the AFC, not only do you have to, have a quarterback, but you have to also have guys that can run down running quarterbacks. You look, Aaron Rodgers can run. Herbert is mobile. Josh Allen, he runs the ball. He's their running back. And we already know about Lamar Jackson. And Joe Burrow can, basically, extend plays. So in the AFC, you need somebody in them linebacker positions to run sideline to sideline after Myles Garrett and those guys. Darius Smith chasing him around a little bit. But, yeah, I think that JOK runs like him. But I think he's much bigger. I think he has more upside because he just has a more of a traditional
He's 6'4",
line.
230.
He's about 230.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's big.
Why
dude.
did he go undrafted? Do we know?
It's hard to make the league. It's like he transferred from.
But if he's got that kind of skill set, why didn't anybody take him in the 6th, 7th round at least?
It's a great question, and I'm not
Yeah.
even going to speculate.
All
I have
right.
no idea.
Tony Fields, in, out, on the bubble.
On the bubble out.
on a bubble, I would say right now on a bubble in just because of special teams.
Yeah. I'm going out. on him.
I hate when me and Bull agree on everything. I don't think we've disagreed yet.
Have we not?
I think we're on the same wavelength.
Jordan Elliott.
Bye.
Okay, I have
An
a.
interesting one.
Peace.
I think he's on the bubble right now.
3rd round pick 3 years ago, has barely played.
I think it comes down to him or Mo Hurst, and I'm rolling the dice with Mo Hurst on this one.
I think Elliott's on the bubble, leaning towards out. I'm with you.
And for the sake of this, just like Schwartz, I think if Elliott has 3 sacks, one of them on Mahomes, he has a much better shot, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, he's out of here. I've seen enough for Jordan Elliott.
I think, let's see, have anybody else?
Cade York?
Yeah, they're not going to cut him.
I know. I just throw it out there.
Yeah, I'll give you one more. Let's go back to the offense. I'll give you an interesting one here. Nick Harris.
He's on the roster.
I think he's traded.
I think he's going to be out. I know it's crazy because he was supposed to be the starting center last year, but I think Whiplash beat him out for the backup center spot.
Pochic's the starting center.
Pochich is the starting center. They got what's his name to be. He's been a pretty good backup guard for them when they needed him. That Michael Dunn.
And Whiplash played guard in preseason. And who was on the other day that said? I think it was Jason.
Yeah,
Harris is small.
right.
If he's big guy,
I
but
think
in the
they
grand
now
scheme
see
of things,
Whippler as their starting center of the future.
I agree. I think
I think they have Whippler and DeJuan Jones as their starting center and right tackle a couple of years from now.
if they could
That's how
trade
they see it.
Nick Harris, what do you think you get back for Harris? A 6th round
much.
pick, 5th,
Yeah,
6th round pick?
something like that.
Would you do it?
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I like Nick Harris better than I like James Hudson.
But James Hudson's a tackle, and he's their only backup tackle with experience.
I mean, he just has bad experiences.
That's true.
Not unfair.
I would keep
Not unfair.
DeJuan Jones and make him my swing tackle. Nick Harris could play guard, or Nick Harris you possibly can get something for him. I mean, how many people have a center? Like the Browns got 3 good centers.
If a team called right now, let's use Indianapolis for example, because their offensive line's weak, and said, "Hey, AB, we'll give you a 6th round pick for Nick Harris." Would you do it?
I would do it, but
Yep.
I don't think the Colts. I think it's more a team that Colts are not really trying to win this year, especially if they trade Jonathan Taylor.
But trying to keep Anthony Richardson upright
That's
certainly
fair.
important.
Fair.
But any team, I use the
Yeah,
Colts example.
I would do it
for
yes.
a 6th.
I'd
Yeah.
do it.
I think I would too.
I'd rather try to trade him for maybe another player at another position.
I would too.
Who do you think? And this is putting you on the spot, and I'm probably not going to think of one. Position for position, skill for skill, cheap money for cheap money.
Yeah.
The Browns have a lot of cap space
maybe
now.
a running back that's interesting.
Yeah, I would say
Bring
probably.
back Dearness Johnson.
I wouldn't mind bringing back.
You know
Dearness
what?
Johnson.
That's not a terrible move.
I wouldn't. I like
Ernest
that.
is way down the Colts depth of the
Jaguars.
Jags.
He's their 3rd or 4th running
Yeah.
back right now.
Yeah, he might get cut.
Yeah, because they got Etienne, the kid they drafted.
They love
They like him, Tank Bigsby.
from Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I drafted him last night too.
if they cut, they might just cut him, and the Browns could pick him back up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that you need to trade for Dearness.
But I was just throwing out
Yeah.
a player like that could be
I'll give you
something.
one other guy, Harrison Bryant.
All right, so we know Stefanski has a tight end fetish, so
Yeah.
he's definitely a lock. But
I don't know that is he a lock?
Are they keeping another? They're only going to keep 2 tight ends.
They've got
and Kevin Stefanski's
They've got
offense only
6
keeping
tight
2?
ends here. 3 of them are undrafted free agents the last 2 years.
So I assume they're keeping 3. Are any of the other 3 surpassing Harrison
I
Bryant?
think he get cut. I'm just.
Yeah,
be
I
honest.
think he's on the bubble, but I'm leaning towards keep.
I don't see how they cut him. And Akins is such and I like Akins. The dude's been hurt so often in his career.
Akins and Joku and what else? So what other they got? Akins.
Bryant.
That's it. I mean, the rest are. They got an undrafted rookie from last year named what the hell's this guy's name? Zaire
The basketball player.
Mitchell Padden.
He was the basketball
And
player.
then 2 undrafted free agents this year, Thomas Greeny and Miller Forrestal.
Now, Miller Forrestal was at Alabama. He
And
made a
he's-
couple of big plays against
Right, he's
Washington.
played decently.
I still think they keep Bryant.
All right. Well, there you go. Those are the question marks, right?
Yeah.
Now, the good news is we're not really talking about – I mean, you and I have covered this team a long time, and usually this time of the year, we're still debating like 8 starting spots.
Oh yeah, guys.
For many years.
and including
like who's playing left guard? Who's the second
Is
corner?
there any starting spot that's up for grabs right now?
The second defensive tackle spot could be, because Shelby Harris hasn't been here long. I don't know that he's definitely starting week 1.
I could see them not do that. I could see them.
If everybody's healthy, I think the only The only thing that's up for grabs to me that's that has any significance is the second starting defensive tackle spot and the number 2 running back if Ford's not ready to go.
That's it.
That's a good problem to have. Or that's a good set of question marks to have.
You know, who's the second starting? Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything else.
And
at least you usually have your nickel, like a nickel linebacker or a nickel corner that you don't know too much about.
Right, no.
Or it's a tight end battle because you don't really use tight ends. Like, it's just basically the roster is set.
Yeah, I mean, the key guys, you know, obviously we're talking about back end of the roster spots, but all those guys we talked about are the 3rd tight end, the 4th safety,
the 5th or 6th, 7th receivers.
Right, like those guys, they're not playing much anyway, even if, and some of those guys won't even be active the first week. But I think who's the second starting D tackle, although they're going to rotate, obviously, and who's the backup running back if Ford, like, because Nick Chubb is not getting every carry.
Yeah.
Who's getting those 5-8 carries if Jerome Ford can't go? Right now, I don't think we have the answer to that.
I don't think he's on the roster right now.